Alright guys, we're gonna head out here now to this spring white wheat field. Have a look at the weed pressure because I'm thinking we're gonna need to get the hoe out here. There's a little weed starting. There's one right there. So it's actually a pretty clean field as of right now, but we're gonna hoe it just to be safe. Alright, so in this field right here that we've got under pivot, there's still about, I'd say 8 acres on the outside where the pivot doesn't reach, and it's the hillside right here. That soil is a lot drier than what's under pivot right now, and the soil is a little bit looser, and the seed is also not that far along, so we're gonna leave the hillside and not hoe that, because if I did that right now, I would probably take out too many wheat plants, and we don't want to do that. So we're just going to hoe what's under pivot right here for now, and then later on, either when we get hand lines or a good rain, we'll come back and get that hillside hoed. A hair on my face. Okay, we're gonna now head out to that pivot that I was working on the other day. Dad has been out there trenching because we got to get power strung all the way out there and then some main line. So we'll go out there and take over the trenching for probably the rest of the day and get that all done and ready to go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Load up, load up, load up. Let's go. Good boy. Oh, yeah. Alright, so we're back out here at the last pivot that we're trying to get up and running. What I am working on right now is getting the panel mounted, because that panel is like from the 1700s and it's kind of a piece of junk. I mean, it may work, but we don't really want to mess with this thing. So we got a new valley panel to put on, and we're actually going to put it on the other side over here. Right here, I got to finish making the other bracket, and then we'll go ahead and mount the panel. Dad is working on trenching. He's actually got from here all the way down over the hill. He probably has another 30 yards to go. All right, now that we got our two brackets mounted up here, next thing we're gonna do is measure and drill our holes for mounting the actual panel to this. Oh, wrong place. Right. Right here, right there. Got a metal shard in my mouth. I think I got it out. Okay, there we go. This thing is ready to have a brand new panel mounted to it. Like that. Just let me get the nuts. Yeah, do the top first. You got? Yep. Looks like we got a little overspray into the other field here. I should probably adjust that end gun at some point so that we're not doing that. Okay, so we gotta shut this off here. It's been running for the past couple days on this Austrian winter pea field, and then we'll go ahead and turn on this pivot right here, and then the one way over the hill there. I think this screen right here is plugged a little bit, so we're gonna take it out, clean it off, and then go and start those pivots. All right, now we'll turn this water on, kind of do a little quick wash. You can see, yeah, this screen was pretty dirty. All you gotta do is rub your hand on it and it'll clean it up. All right, so this is actually the first time that we're firing up this pivot this year. So we've got the flush valve open at the very end of the pivot there. Obviously turned on the water. We're just gonna flush out any mud or anything that was left over from last season. And it looks like it's actually pretty good. Here, let me zoom in. There you go. Now you got better. Look at that 4K footage. Well, we're gonna hit the pivot. That was close. Oakley, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oakley, Oakley, come on, come on, come on, come on. Oakley, come on, Oakley. Oakley. Okay. All right, the last thing we got to do now is walk all the way out to that pivot point there and shut her down. Okay. Okay, almost there. You're almost there, Will. You got it. Okay. Oh, you made it. Good job. All right, we're here at this pivot, so now what we're gonna do, open it up. The Icon 5. Pretty nice. We're gonna hit stop. Stop on the Icon 5 shuts the whole pivot off if you didn't already know that. So here we go. Look at that. It just shut it all off. You hit that little exclamation mark. System stop command. All right, perfect. That lets us know that we actually shut it off. You can see this valve doesn't leak. All right, they're all shut off. All right, go ahead and remember to shut the panel on here, just so we don't get any water or bugs in there. Look at that. Look at that. It's all scratched up with bird poop on it. Oh my gosh. There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay. I gotta walk all the way back now. All right, you got it. You got it. There we go. There we go. Okay. Oh, okay, so you can see right here, this is the nozzle on the pivot, and what comes out of here is water, like those ones right there. This one doesn't have water in it, which means there's a plug somewhere in this line here. So we're gonna go climb up top so we're not getting wet by these other nozzles and figure out what the problem is. All right, we made it to the plug nozzle. So now we gotta figure out why it's not spraying water. This pivot is on, so you got to be careful. It'll start up automatically and kind of move the whole thing. You might fall off, so you got to hold on. All right, so the holes on these nozzles, oh, just sliced my finger open, are pretty small. So if you get anything sucked into the irrigation system, like a cat or a piece of rock, a possum, a skunk, any one of those things can get sucked in, trash from the neighbor, and then get pulled through the irrigation system, and it'll plug up these nozzles right here. But most of the time it's usually just a rock or some mud built up. All right, so here's the nozzle right here. I don't think there's any piece of animal in there. I think it's just mud. Okay, so let's just kind of shoot it out, hopefully. There we go. Now you can see through it. I just heard a big old clanking and I thought something was rolling around on my bed, but it turns out that I ran over that sign, the water over roadway. It was already laid over, but did I pop a tire? Because there's like spikes sticking up on it. I think we're good. Alright, the next thing that we're going to do is jump onto the Valley scheduling app and check the moisture on these two fields right here and see if we have to shut the pivots off. Password.
You know what? It made me laugh when I heard it, but Pam got really offended.
Ooh, big boo.
Drama queen. Nosy.
You're typing big boo.
I'm trying everything.
Try big boobs with a Z.
That's the password. We're in.
All right.
Wow.
Well, that worked. Okay, so yeah, you can see here the pond field needs 0.43 of an inch to be fully saturated, and Rainville right here is actually fully saturated. So we'll go ahead and shut off the Rainville pivot here, and we'll let this other pivot go until it's fully saturated too. This barley is coming along really nice. Okay, what? Dude, it's something with these valves. They're absolute... The little tubes on them are junk. Look at this leak. Okay, here we go. We were here before. Another icon 5. We're at this screen. Now what do you do to shut it off? Wrong. You hit stop. Boom. Stopped. Don't touch anything else. Just shut the panel and you're good to go. Okay, on that gauge right there, it's reading 70,000 PSI. So we're gonna wanna shut this valve off somewhat slow, because if you stop 70,000 PSI in 1 second, something's probably gonna break. Like that. I'm a professional at shutting these off. Alright guys, we are so close to having this final pivot up and running, but check this out. We've got our power in the trench here, all 330,000 feet of it, going all the way down to the well right there where power's at, and it's all hooked up, ready to go. For our main line, we've got her tied into this existing one right here, and then we've got water and power running out to the pivot there. We go down to the pivot. Here at the pivot point, you can see what Dad did. So we got water coming in right here, and then this pipe right here is for a riser if we need it at any point. And then this T right here that he put on, we can just cut and continue this main line that goes out to each corner of this field and get it watered. But that's all ready to go. It'll be super easy to tie into. But then we got the main water coming up. He welded up this pipe yesterday. Got it all mounted right here, painted, looks super nice. Right here you can actually see this is a patch. Now there was a big hole in this pipe, and if you don't know how water works, when it goes through this pipe, if there's a hole right here, that water will come out of this hole and not go into the pivot here.
That's an interesting way of putting, that makes sense.
So we put a patch on here, welded that all up, it's all good to go. Then over here you can see what I did. I've mounted this thing so correct that when it says closed, it's actually in alignment and the valve is open. And then if you turn it to open, it's actually closed. So that's my work here on this thing. We are so close to getting this thing done. There's a few minor wiring things we got to do. So at this point we can actually turn the pumps on and get water out here, check all the nozzles, because there's probably going to be some that are plugged with dirt, mud, debris, animals, whatever. There's going to be some plugs, I just know it. Get those all unplugged. And then on the electrical side of things, all we got to do is get some fuses put into this panel here, and then this pivot should be done. Given that all the tower boxes are working correctly and drive motors, because some of the tower boxes on here were actually used and they've been sitting on there a long time, so I don't know if they actually work correctly. Oh, good. Glad to see that's not bent or covered in dirt. It'll be nice to finally have this area around this pivot point all leveled out and looking nice again, since this thing is done. Check this out. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. We got to fire this thing up. We're at, that's not good, 0 volts. Wrong. 480 volts. This tower right here is moving this way, then tower's going that way, and the rest of them are headed that way. So on this drive motor, actually up top, we'll just switch 2 wires, and then that'll rotate the motor and get it turned another way. Okay, so right here we will just, you can switch any one of these, a black, blue, or red. We'll just switch to black and blue, and it should be good to go. Okay, turn it on. Are you in safety override?
It's running on its own.
Nice.
All of them are going?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the west and determine where our auto reverse mark will be. And then we'll go east. We'll do the whole run dry so we know we can span and clear everything.
Okay, flip it the other way.
Yep. Forward. Straight looking as far as setting your micro switches.
I can't.
Looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, it's perfectly straight.
Man, you got that dialed. I want to listen to that older motor. The other thing you see how bad it sounds. Make sure your pickup's not in the way for getting ran into.
Yeah, I got to move it. Okay.
This just changes the farm, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Been working on this for 1.5 years off and on.
Look at that. Got pivot in the road now. Alright guys, check this out. This is the first water in the pivot here. I don't think any nozzles were plugged, which is crazy. And the flush valve up there did not have any animals in it. It's always a good thing. So we're gonna get this pivot fired up and water these peas. Yeah, let's see what the moisture is out here. Get the weed out of here. Check the moisture. Oh, you know, that's not terrible if it stays together like that, but whoops, uprooted that one. That one wasn't a weed. Okay.